Have you ever wondered, what is parchment paper? How should I line my cake tin? Do I need to use parchment paper? Well, is butter paper and parchment paper the same? Well, you are at the right place. And yes, parchment paper and butter paper are the same. It is a sheet covered with wax. Hello foodies and welcome back to Culinary Table. Before moving on to today's video, if you still haven't subscribed to Culinary Table, please hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon so you'll be the first one to watch all my videos. Let's get started. Today's video is all about the basics of parchment paper. We use parchment paper in baking for lining our cake tins. So if you guys don't have parchment paper at home, either get one from the store, like I got these parchment paper, a roll of 20 for 87 rupees in a nearby store, or through online shopping. I'll leave a link to that also in the description box below. So now if you guys don't want to get it from shops or through online shopping, I'll be soon posting a video on an alternative for parchment paper, as well as another video on how to create your own parchment paper at home, and that's quite simple. So stay tuned. For this process of lining our parchment paper, we need oil, which means oil without any flavor or smell, and a cake tin, a brush, and of course our parchment papers. First, let's unroll our parchment paper. So now as you guys can see, this is quite large as I've flattened it on the floor to show you guys, and I will be also leaving a note to the dimensions of this parchment paper that I'm using in the description box below. And don't forget that my parchment paper is rectangular in shape, so please do mind the shape of your parchment paper also. Here I'm using a 6-inch circular cake tin. So always remember, first to cut out the shape of your cake tin, you must not place the cake tin upside down, because that will require more paper and more addition of space, which is unnecessary in my opinion. To make that perfect, you'll have to place the cake tin facing upwards, which means you'll get a perfect circle. Now to make things easier, I'm just folding my parchment paper in 4. Now that I've folded it in half, it's time to cut out the shape of our cake tin. So as I told you guys earlier, place your cake tin facing upwards. Whatever shape it is, don't keep it like this. Keep it as shown in the video, facing it upwards. Now, while drawing the shape of your cake tin, there is one thing to keep in mind. That is to use a ballpoint pen, because at times when you're tracing out the shape of your cake tin, chances are that the ink may not be imprinted onto the paper. So in that case, when you're using a ballpoint pen, the nib of the ballpoint pen gives more pressure to the paper, causing to leave behind an impression. So even if the ink is not there, you'll find the impression of your circular tin, as I've done. So now it's time to use our scissors, and be very careful while using your scissors, because they can be harmful. So now moving on to our parchment paper. Here I need only one circle of parchment paper right now, so I'm not cutting it on the whole like into 8 circles or anything. I just need one, so I'm cutting out only one. But if you need it for a bulk order or something, you may cut it when it's folded itself. Now we've got a perfect circle of parchment paper. So now it's time to cover or line our cake tin. Now for the mistake that everyone does mostly, you just place your parchment paper just like that, thinking you don't need to brush it with oil or anything. So that's definitely wrong. You first need to brush your cake tin with a little bit of oil. so maybe a little more itself. Here I'm brushing my cake tin well on the bottom side as well as in the sides. Always remember, here is an easy tip to allow a layer of excess oil, a little bit, at least 2-3 drops or something, to remain at the bottom, just like I've left it. Can you see, guys? Yeah, and that is the layer of oil that's gonna create a layer of protection for our cakes and prevent them from burning. And now we can add our parchment paper in just like this, but be sure not to release all the bubbles outside. Please leave a little bit of gap in the middle and brush some oil again on the top of the parchment paper. So as you guys can see, I'm brushing it thoroughly with a little bit oil, and I've left a little bit of air bubbles in between to create that protection layer I told you guys about. And now we can add in our cake batter inside, as our cake tin is ready now. And as you guys can see, I changed my cake tin because I wanted to make a 1 kg chocolate cake. And so after adding your batter in, please don't forget to tap it 3 times to release the air bubbles. And now our cake is out of the oven and we have to remove our parchment paper. Just see how easily it comes out, and our cake is soft and moist. And if you guys loved this video, please don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends and family, and of course subscribe to Culinary Table. Happy cooking!